Hey, DVR Tech here to talk about things you can print with a 3D printer. Yes, they're cheap. I paid $169 for this one, but let's see what we can actually do. So there's a running gag on the internet that does anybody actually print anything other than parts for their 3D printer? And of course that's the first thing you end up doing when you buy a 3D printer and you're, I guess, technical. You want to make improvements on it. So printing a case for the motherboard, I printed a Raspberry Pi case so that I could remotely print. Now this was the printer when it was initially put together, just barely assembled, just barely able to print, and we start to go through and we start to make upgrades. So this is one of the first videos I think I ever did, and you can see some of the upgrades I printed in orange. I put on an auto level sensor, and a second ago you could see the case for the motherboard. As pretty as this initial orange piece was, my auto level sensor, my motherboard that came with this Tronxy was bad, and so I actually ended up going on a series of upgrades. So the first thing that I had to do was replace the defective motherboard. I've got that motherboard here hooked up and I'm able to actually start printing with it. My auto level sensor is working, and I ended up with an LCD screen that came along with the motherboard that allows me to have a touchscreen to print. So that was pretty cool. And so now I continued on with this two-color upgrade by printing a mount for a Cyclops head. So here you can see the completed and mounted Cyclops on my custom mount that I actually made myself. And here's the first two-color print that came off of it. Now we're going to look at items I printed that actually have nothing to do with my 3D printer. One of the first things I started to do was print toys for my son. So he is big into construction vehicles. So here's one of the first prints I did. And then I moved on to making a dump truck, and I wanted to make it really unique. I don't know if you can see the wheels here have JVR on them. And then if we take a look at the bed, we can see that his name is written into the plastic. It's actually part of the design that I printed. Shortly after this, my father bought a CNC, and he wanted the vacuum attachment for it. So I found a design on Thingiverse, and so I printed out that bracket that normally costs $100, and it was probably, I don't know, $2 worth of plastic. We'll just do a quick run through of some other prints. I did a windmill project that was kind of fun. Holders for glues, bike water bottle holder. Of course, Benchy. Anybody who's done 3D printing probably did a Benchy test. We lost some wheels to our dishwasher, and so we've printed out some replacement wheels. And I'm not sure if this really counts, but I've actually been using a 3D printer to print another 3D printer. Hopefully better than the original Tronxy, using some of the same original parts. I built myself a pond in the front of our property, and I put in a water wheel a couple months ago. And one problem I've had is getting the water to go the correct path straight into the wheel. And so 3D printer to the rescue. I went on Tinkercad, I designed a part, and now we have proper water flow going. I'm going to end here with one of my favorite prints I've done. I designed a small piece to go into the Hot Wheels track so that I could mount my son's Hot Wheels to the wall along the lines of one of his favorite YouTubers named Axel. And so here we go. Here's a test run video. This was a failed run. We didn't make it clear around the track, but we've added a lot of tracks since then, and we've had a lot of successful runs. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.